On today's what's up, Anime Afterthought, Tokyo Revengers, Episode 6 Regret, and Episode 7 Revive. I have this horrific feeling welling up in the pit of my stomach that what we're witnessing is not some series of random chaotic events. No, this is a well-choreographed, well-orchestrated plan by one crafty and intelligent individual. And this is what scares me. The amount of mental forethought needed to predict, to enact, to ensure that events come out like they have so far is scary, beyond scary. But what scares me even more is the lengths this individual is willing to go to achieve his plan. I'm talking about Kizuki. I'm almost 100% sure we have already met the main antagonist of the series. I mean, we know for a fact that this is the man responsible for Akun's betrayal as well as his horrific death. But after the last couple of episodes, I don't think Akun was his only victim. Yes, thanks to Takemichi investigating in the present, we know the pivotal event that shifted Tomen into the current state that it's in. It was the death of Draken. But Takemichi playing bodyguard is just not enough. The gears of fate are constantly in motion, but one thing he has is, time travel. They say hindsight's 20/20, but nothing beats traveling back to the future. So that's what Takemichi does. We know a war between Tomen and Mobius is coming. So what better way to figure out what went wrong than by asking someone who is actually there? How about interrogating the former leader of Mobius himself, Osanai? Now, when you picture a former leader of a delinquent gang, you get a certain image in your head. But Takemichi is absolutely shocked by the person he is introduced to. This is a man whose natural stance is cowering, that it feels like the life has been drained from his soul. And as the questioning goes on, you can understand why. Not only was the death of Draken the pivotal event that changed Tomen's trajectory forever, but also his own. But thanks to this little interrogation, we get a lot more information. We know certain aspects of the past that we need to look out for, that hopefully we can stop. We know that internal conflict is coming, that a fight between Mikey and Draken will occur, that a battle between Tomen and Mobius is inevitable. And if we're to believe Osanai himself, while not denying his involvement, he refuses to claim responsibility for Draken's death. Culprit aside, the outcome is still the same. And once again, it boils down to one of his final statements, that this whole series of events was but a part of his plan. Now, at this point, I'm assuming certain factors. I'm assuming that this is referring to Kizuki. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 100% sure, if you know what I mean. But if we assume that Osanai is correct, and we make some leaps in conclusions, the outcome is absolutely terrifying. Remember what set this entire battle off. Mobius attacked a friend of a high-ranking member of Tomen. Not only beat the shit out of him, but raped and beat the girlfriend. And I'm pretty sure then beat or robbed the family afterwards. So are you telling me that was part of Kizuki's plan? That somehow he manipulated all these factors to end? It's mind-boggling. The series of dominoes this fucker would have to set up to get the outcome like this is ridiculous. If this is true, this guy is a fucking puppet master of epic proportions. I mean, my God. Armed with this new information, Takemichi returns to the past. And thanks to his earlier sleuthing, he knows that there is a meeting taking place about how to move forward with Tomen versus Mobius. And he decides to interject. And of course, this sets Paul off right away. I mean, this was this dude's friend. The girl's in fucking intensive care. I mean, lives were fucking ruined. But Takemichi knows the truth, that this is an event in a series that will eventually lead to Draken's untimely death and forever change Tomen. Now, this is not getting through except to one individual, Draken. So much so that it begins to look like he's rethinking his position on whether they should fight Mobius or not. Now, Mikey does not like this. It seems like this is an insult insult to Tomen's name. Like, hey, you're going against our word, you're going against Tomen. That's what it feels like. Of course, this begins an argument like, oh shit, this is the fight, this is the internal conflict. Takemichi had just created the event that he was supposed to stop, but this seems like this isn't really it. Because of course it's interrupted by who? Osanai. Yes, the previous 12-year version of Osanai, and now this is a gang leader. This is 100% stereotypical delinquent. A complete and utter contrast from the just disheveled, beaten down version of his future self. Remember, coming up, this is where everything changes for this dude. Standing toe to toe. It is only moments before a fight ensues. Remember, Paul is already quick to anger. We learned that right off the bat from this dude. So of course, who fucking picks a fight? Yes, Paul versus Osanai, and it's glaringly obvious that there is a complete difference in strength. I mean, whether Mikey likes to admit it or not, there was no way that Paul was getting out of that fight whatsoever. I'm not saying he lost because I don't want to get kicked in the fucking head, but he definitely didn't win. So when things are looking bleakest and very fucking bloody, Mikey interjects into this fight, and with a single swift head kick, Osanai is down for the fucking count. Everyone is in awe. This kid is a fucking killer. I mean, beyond killer. And it's at this moment, this climax in this fight, that another event that Takemichi is supposed to be looking out for seems to be occurring, that Draken may be in danger of getting stabbed. Osanai grabs a broken bottle and lunges towards them, but luckily Draken is able to fend it off, and it seems all is good. The fight is over. Mobius is still in utter disbelief what just took place. I mean, it seems like it's done. Unfortunately for one person, it just wasn't. Remember, Paul is just a very emotional individual, and after everything he's been through and everything that's happened to his friend, he just can't let it go. In fact, he shockingly stabs Osanai. Now, I wasn't expecting that. I saw the switchblade come out and I was like, oh shit, this is it. But wait a second, it's not August 3rd. And it made me realize that this was just a series of red herrings, that Takemichi still needs to stop what the hell's going on. But of course, fate wants to happen. Fate needs to happen. At this point, Takemichi is completely fucked up. Paul is going to jail because he fucking stabbed someone. Mikey needs to be taken away by Draken, and then basically Takemichi passes out and wakes up in the hospital once again, assaulting Emma, to which, eventually Hina will discover it and beat the shit out of him. But she gives us a very big piece of information, that thanks to Paul getting arrested, there has been a fight started between Mikey and Draken. Now this is some serious fucking shit, that once again you have to go back and try to surmise how much of this was planned out, right? Did Kizuki plan for Paul to get arrested? Did he know that Paul will stab Osanai? That this would somehow lead to this internal conflict between the number 1 and number 2 of Tomen? Like, how deep does this shit go? It's fucking scary. It's scary. And I'm absolutely shocked by these 2 episodes. Not only were they able to deal with these super serious moments, but they were also able to pepper in comedy and backstory without breaking any of the narrative flow. I mean, we got a nice backstory between how Draken and Mikey met each other. That Draken grew up in the red light district, a bunch of random fucking prostitutes, and he was just this little fucking badass until he met Mikey, right? Mikey was this no-nonsense, punch first, fuck everyone else later. Like, this was a friendship made in heaven. Like, these two were meant to fucking meet. Getting that backstory cemented how close these two fuckers are, so when they actually begin to fight, it's a serious thing. Like, god damn. But then to end it on this comedic moment where they're actually fighting and they're just smashing the shit out of all of Takemichi's stuff, like, the ebbs and flow of this series are fucking ridiculous. I laughed, I cried, I fucking got excited. Like, it's just such a good fucking story. I am so enjoying it so much. Like I said, my mind is boggled. Like, how much of this has been planned out, and even if it is all part of his plan, what's his goal? That just absolutely terrifies me. And I am just rooting for Takemichi Enichi to change the future, to change everything, to save Draken, to save Toman, to save Hina, to save himself. I mean, this dude literally has the weight of the world on his fucking shoulders, and I am just in awe of what he's going through. Anyways, like I said, I am loving this series so fucking much. I'm upset because I can't do like live videos on this shit, like actually the day it comes out, because there's just so much shit going on Saturdays and I work, and just it feels like this falls to the back burner, but it hasn't. It's constantly in my mind. I mean, yeah. Anyways, with all that being said, and more Tokyo Revengers this week, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.